Welcome to the continuing series of How to Bet and Handicap from pregame.com. I'm your host, Marco D'Angelo, joined with Vegas Runner. We're going to discuss a topic today that betting big sporting events. Now, everybody bets, we know that, but there's certain times of the year that there are events that bring new people to the betting scene.
The real recreational guys. I mean, guys that bet and are into the forums and, clients of ours, they bet regularly every day, even though some of them aren't professional, and that's all they do to provide a living. They still wager every day, invest in the market every day. But you're right, there's those events, March Madness, Final Fours, World Series, Super Bowls, the bowl games on New Year's Day, that you get that influx of recreational bettors that are more or less event bettors. Like they're not even sure how to make a bet, a lot of them, but they want to bet the Super Bowl. They want to bet the championship game on, college basketball.
It's something to do.
Yeah.
Another one, Thanksgiving weekend.
Exactly.
Football.
They're home.
The wives are out.
Yeah.
The
games
doing
are
the shop, and you got nonstop games Thursday right through Sunday. Now, what does all this mean? What does this matter to anybody? As professional sports bettors like you and myself, we live here in Las Vegas. We make a living betting. And one of the keys to being a successful sports bettor is always getting the best of it. Now, that's a cliche. You always want to get the best of it. But it is so true. And there's added value when you've got situations where the novice is making bets. An example, if you have a Super Bowl game, somebody's going to bet the Super Bowl that probably has not bet a game all year.
Sure.
But it's the Super Bowl. They're going to be going to a party. They're going to be watching the game. They want to have that rush. They want to have some juice. Get the
a rooting interest.
Right. So what do you do if you don't know anything about betting? Well, you're going to look at the marquee players maybe. Maybe it's a Brett Favre. Maybe it's a Peyton Manning. Oh, I've seen that guy on TV commercials 100 times. And that's where their bet goes. And suddenly you may have a game where a line should be -4, but because of public betting, the line is now 5.
Yeah, and I think that's when professional sports bettors, Marco, tend to feel that their edge is even greater. And I remember from back when I was moving steam, we would call it, and I even wrote a newsletter about this, changing gears. And we'd say that to each other, big guy's changing gears. There would be those times, like you said, the day of New Year's with the bowl games, that Thanksgiving Thursday or Friday, Black Friday, where we knew we were maxing out every bet. And the reason was the handicappers believed their edge was even greater because that number now, that price now, is even influenced more by public perception than ever before. So even though the idea of putting out a price is to try to balance the action, not balance the results, right. So there's going to be value a lot of times anyway, but when there's that public perception has to be weighed more, now all of a sudden, that price is based a lot less on actual, strength and true value, and it's totally based on perception and nothing more. And you can't listen to, like they say, Mr. Market. Don't let Mr. Market influence you or make your decisions for you. There's a team has value or it doesn't. A team's worth a certain price. That's it. And that's how I think you need to compare it. Not what the market tells you it is. But in those events that you're talking about, the market dictates the price, I think, before the bettors do.
And you can pick up, added value for you. Like we said, inflated lines, you're getting, you can pick up dogs. And history will say that it's going to migrate to the favorites. Public bets favorites and the public bets over-unders. They're going to bet the overs. And I think over-unders maybe are even a better value because, Vegas numbers are sharp to start with on totals.
Exactly.
And then when the public moves a total a point or 2 points, you're getting added value to begin with.
Sure.
And you're going to find the value in the unders a lot of times. Another situation where a big-time sporting event gets you even more value. When you're betting the things that we all just talked about, you're getting a line. Instead of getting 4 or 5, you might be getting 6. That's added value. But it's still the same risk and return. You're laying 110 to win 100.
Yeah.
But there is a situation where it's different, where there's what I like to call dead money. And it makes an overlay in the betting pools. And that's talking horse racing. And not, really, there's only 2 big horse races that this really comes into play. The first one is obviously the Kentucky Derby. That's the biggest horse race. Everybody and anybody knows of the Kentucky Derby, whether you've ever bet it or you're a horse.
You're right.
Because that first Saturday in May, it's an event.
I bet it every year, and I'm not a horse guy.
Because you want to be a part of the action.
Yeah, that's 3 minutes in sports.
It's actually the most exciting 2 minutes in sports.
See? I'm not a horse guy.
And
but I'm dead money.
You are. Well,
it's true.
I think you're a little sharper than dead money. But what happens is you've got little old ladies betting horses by names, by colors,
numbers,
and you get money into a pool. Where it happens is sharps that like to play the exactas or trifectas and such. You could have 2 horses run 1-2 that are the stone cold favorites. And on a normal given day at that racetrack, the return on that exacta might be $17 for the 2 favorites running in there. But because there's so much extra money in the betting pool and so many dead combinations because people are betting exactas with names or they're betting their birthdays and such, that stone cold
$17
exacta might be $35.
And is that why professional bettors like yourself, you're in the horses, you guys always run to days like that and start playing pick sixes and stuff like that because there's so much more value and extra dead money?
And when you say like the pick sixes, if there's during, we're talking about a special
the main events, sure.
The Kentucky Derby. The second horse race would be the Belmont if there's a Triple Crown on the line. People will flock to the Belmont. Just like the Derby because they want to see history.
Sure.
But you brought up a good point about a pick six. If tracks have carryovers, if something, if it's not hit, the pool keeps building until somebody hits it. Well, there are syndicate betting groups that whenever a pool gets to a certain size, they will go in, put their money together, and play extra combinations to try to hit the pick six or a superfecta carryover, whatever, because they know that when the public sees that there's extra money and the racetracks advertise on the radio and so forth, there's a carryover, it's listed in the newspaper, they know that more people are going to take their shot. It's just like
playing the lotto.
Right.
When you know the Powerball's $100 million, you'll drive the state line and play.
Exactly. So there's more money in there, and they can get a better return on their money even if the favorites come in. So it's value. It's all about value betting. And these are the times that sharp bettors, and that's what we try to preach at pregame, is we want to educate people to not only how to handicap, but there's times when to
So this is the opposite, where people expect that big event's going to have the sharpest line. Like the Super Bowl should be the sharpest number. It's the biggest sporting event of the year, so that should have the sharpest number.
It'll start that way,
but nothing could be further from the truth once the money starts piling in.
Especially on the Super Bowl, where you're talking, there's 2 weeks of hype.
Yeah.
The game starts, and you'll see a line. Just move, and then how many times, for 12 days, a line's been going like this, and then those last 2 days, when the sharps finally
all of a sudden change gears,
they come in and take that value,
max it out,
and get the inflated line. They may even have worked themselves a middle. They may know that the popular team is going to be the team with Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or whatever, and they may get in front of
get ahead of the market,
get ahead of the move as soon as it comes out.
But the intentions are to get the value late,
coming back late. So, A lot of people say that these are the worst situations, but really, if you're a smart bettor, you look for these type of spots to make money. And this is the continuing series of how to handicap and bet properly from pregame.com. He is Vegas Runner. I'm Marco D'Angelo. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back down the road with more handicapping tips.